Hi friends, Stacey here. I am so excited for today's video because I'm going to be sharing with you my TBR for the Dystopian Readathon coming up. Hope you enjoy. Let's get into the video. Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. I hope you are doing very well today. My name is Stacey. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I run this channel with my twin sister, Steph, hence our channel name, Stacey and Steph, and we're online small business owners. So this channel is where we share our lives with you as we navigate through our 20s. We share all of our passions that include our lives as business owners with vlogs, business content, lots of books and reading content like this because we're huge readers. We also do planning content, fashion, cooking and baking, travel, you name it. So if any of those topics interest you, we would love for you to stick around. Hit the subscribe button below and join our family. But I'm so glad to have you all back here who are returning subscribers as well. Thank you for being here, watching today's video. Steph and I really appreciate your support. So like I mentioned in the intro, today's video I'm super excited for because I'm sharing with you my TBR for the upcoming Dystopian Readathon here on booktube, hosted by my new YouTube friend Nahomy from Nahomy's Library. So she is hosting her very first readathon, which is the Dystopian Readathon. The readathon is going from Memorial Day, May 29th through June 4th. So it's a week-long fun dystopian readathon. And there's no challenges. All you have to do is read as many dystopian books as you want. So because Nahomy and I are friends now, I'm so excited to participate in this readathon she's hosting and to support her since it's her first one. It's super exciting. And it's perfect timing that she created this readathon because I've actually been kind of like getting into like throwback books. Steph and I were just talking about how we kind of miss the like dystopian era of like when we were in high school in like the 2010s when everybody was reading like Twilight and you know all the dystopians like the Hunger Games, Divergent. We were reading all of those in high school and we kind of missed that era and we've been kind of wanting to go back to it. So when Nahomy announced this readathon, it was literally the perfect timing because, like I said, I've been wanting to get into some more dystopian reads. So I'm so excited for this readathon to be participating. Let me know in a comment below if you're going to be participating as well. Steph I don't think is participating, which is why she's not in this video. She might jump in last minute, but I am definitely participating, which is why I'm making this video. But let me know down below if you plan on participating as well. So without further ado, let's get into my TBR for the readathon. Okay, so the books I'm going to share with you are the books that I'm hoping to read for the Dystopian Readathon. Now, these are just ideas. These are books that I would love to get through. However, it's a lot of books. I am not expecting myself to read all of these in a week, but with readathons, I see them as fun challenges to see how many books I can read in that time. I like to challenge myself and really try to push myself to read even more than I normally would. I normally read about 1 to 2 books a week, so I like to push myself extra hard for readathons to try to read more than that. So like I said, I have a huge pile here. I'm not expecting to get through all of them, but these are all of my ideas and books I would love to read for the readathon in an ideal world. So I'm going to share them with you. Let's get started. And also let me know down in the comments if you're participating in the readathon, what books are on your TBR? What dystopian books are you going to read? Are you going to be reading new books? Are you going to be rereading old favorites? Let me know down below. So the first book I'm going to hopefully read for the Dystopian Readathon is in a series. So I started the program series by Suzanne Young. I read the program, which is book number 1, about a month or 2 ago. I'd been wanting to read it forever. I found it in a little free library. I found almost the entire series in a little free library, which I'm stoked about. I have all the books except the last one. So, read the first book, read the program, loved it. So, for the Dystopian Readathon, I thought it would be perfect to continue on with the series. So the first book I'm hoping to read for the readathon is book number 2. in the program series by Suzanne Young. This is called The Treatment. This is what it looks like. I found it in a little free library. Like I said, pretty much the entire series was in a little free library. So I'm very fortunate because I've been wanting to read this series, but I didn't want to spend the money on it because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. But I absolutely loved the program, which is book number 1. I highly recommend checking this out. To give you a brief synopsis, it's basically a dystopian world where suicide is a big problem. Suicide is an epidemic in this world, as well as depression among teenagers. So in this world, everyone is like attempting suicide and they're all depressed. So they go through this thing called the program, which is kind of like a cure for their suicidal thoughts and their depression. The program is supposed to, like I said, remove those suicidal thoughts and everything and the depression so you come out as like a new person. But the downside to this world is that they completely wipe away your memories and kind of like the person that you used to be. So when you come out of the program, you have no recollection of who you were before you went in. So it's a very interesting dystopian world. I think Suzanne Young did a great job adapting this world in book number 1, which was the program. I've never read anything like it, and I was a psychology major in college. I absolutely love mindset, mental health, all of that. So this is right up my alley. If you like things like that about like mental health and dystopian worlds and things like that, I recommend it. But the main character, so she's trying to stay out of the program. But she's feeling a little depressed because her brother passed away and all these things happen, but she's doing her best, her and her boyfriend, to stay out of the program because they don't want to get brainwashed. So the story is like her journey. That was book number 1. It was her journey of like trying to stay away from the program. So like I said, I'm on to book number 2, which I'm hoping to read for the readathon. So this one's called The Treatment. This is the sequel. And I don't want to tell you what it's about if you haven't read the program, because this is a sequel, so it would definitely be a spoiler for you. So I'm not going to spoil this. Definitely, if you've read the program or you're interested, definitely go look this up. I'll link all the books I mentioned down in the description box for you so you could check them out in case you want to read them. But like I said, I'm not going to share the synopsis because it will spoil you from the first book. But I highly recommend this series if you're interested in dystopian worlds, YA books, anything with like mental health. But trigger warning, please don't read this if there is some like domestic violence, there's some abuse in here, there's a little bit of like sexual harassment, and of course there's a lot of talk about depression and suicide. So if any of those topics are triggering, I don't recommend reading this book. But if you're like me and those topics do not trigger you, I highly recommend checking out this series, starting with book 1, which is the program. So I'm hoping to read this one, which is book 2 for the readathon. I do want to prioritize this as one of the first ones I try to read because, like I said, I have the entire series pretty much. So I do want to read the whole series this year. I don't want to do what I've done in the past where I would like start series, like I would read the first book in a series and then I wouldn't read the second book for like a year later. You know what I mean? Like I do not want to hold out on finishing series for that long anymore. When I start a new series, I really want to finish it within that year, if possible, as soon as possible, so I don't forget what happens and lose interest. So this is going to be one of the priority ones I choose for the readathon because, like I said, I have pretty much the entire series and I really, really want to continue it and see if I liked it as much as the program. So this is the first book I hope to get to for the Dystopian Readathon. The next choice that I want to read for the Dystopian Readathon is another series. And Nahomy actually mentioned this series in her TBR video. This is the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. So I read book 1 already, called Cinder. You probably heard of it. This series, they're all retellings of fairy tales, but they're set in like a sci-fi dystopian world. So the first book I read already was Cinder. It was a retelling of Cinderella. So I have not read the rest of the series yet. So I have all the books here. These are Steph, my sister's books. She bought the entire series a long time ago, so I have all of them here that I have not read. I've only read Cinder. So Again, another series I'm hoping to continue for this readathon that I haven't read in a while is the Lunar Chronicles. So I'm hoping to read book number 2. This is Scarlet, the second book in the series. This one is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. So I'm really excited. Like I said, I've been meaning to read these for a long time. I really enjoyed Cinder when I read it back in a couple years ago, but I just never got around to finishing or continuing the series. So I'm really excited for this readathon because it's helping me catch up on all my series. So thank you, Nahomy, if you're watching. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to get Scarlet done. This is definitely also a priority book for the readathon that I would really, really like to get through because, like I said, I'm really trying to finish all the series I've started. So again, this is book 2 of the Lunar Chronicles called Scarlet, so I'm definitely going to try to read this. And then, like I said, I do want to read the other books in the series, which are, this is the third book, Cress, which is a retelling of Rapunzel. This is my sister Steph's favorite in the series. And this is book number 4, which is Winter, which is a retelling of Snow White. So all the books are stunning. So I'm hoping to get through these. Like I said, I probably won't get to these ones during this readathon because it's a lot of books. Like, I'm just being realistic. I'm not gonna finish series, you know what I mean? But I wanted to show them because, like I said, kind of like the program series, I'm reading The Treatment, which is book 2. I really want to read book 2 in the Lunar Chronicles, which is Scarlet. So this is the next book / series I'm hoping to get to for the readathon. I have 2 more books to share with you. The next one is another book I've been meaning to read for a really long time, and I've just never gotten around to it, and I've never owned it. But you guys know, I was one of those people, I'm a huge Twilight fan. I love anything with vampires. I love paranormal books, anything like that, paranormal romance. So I love Twilight. I read it in high school. I've reread it. I love the movies. I'm a huge fan. But surprisingly, I've never read, I read Midnight Sun too, and I loved it, by the way. But I've never read Stephenie Meyer, her other books. So it's about time I did. So I am going to try to read The Host, which is her, I think it's a sci-fi dystopian book. This came out, again, a long time ago. I think like soon after the Twilight series. And I never read it. Let me know if you read any of these books also down below. And let me know your thoughts or if you want to read them. But I've never read The Host by Stephenie Meyer. And if you can believe it, I actually found this recently in a little free library. I was so excited to find this because it's one of those books that, like I said, I've wanted to read for a long time, but I kind of put it off because I kind of like lost interest and I wasn't sure. I kept going back and forth if I wanted to read it or not. But I really don't know much about it, honestly, at all. But I've heard pretty good things about it. And like I said, I love Stephenie Meyer, love the Twilight series, love her writing. So I definitely want to give it a chance. She's one of those authors, like, I like to read all of their books, but it's in really good condition. I don't know if you could tell. It almost looks like it was brand new, but this was literally in a little free library. So I'm so glad I found it for free because, like I said, I didn't really want to spend money on it because I just wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. So the fact that I found this for free is amazing. So I'm hoping to get to The Host. I'm not sure if I'll get to this one though, unfortunately, because like I said, I am prioritizing the other books I already shared, which are like The Treatment and Scarlet. I definitely want to prioritize those first since they're series that I really want to get through. But I would love to get to this, and the only thing is it's a huge book. It's super chunky. How many pages is it? Oh my goodness, it's like over 800 pages. I didn't even realize that. So definitely not a good readathon pick because, you know, you don't really want to pick long books for readathons. You want them to be on the shorter side so you can get through more. So I probably will not be getting to The Host for this readathon. If there's another dystopian readathon, if Nahomy does one again, another round, I will probably get to it. But I figured I would share it anyways because it is one that I really do want to get to as soon as possible, and it does fall under the dystopian sci-fi genre. So this is The Host from Stephenie Meyer. I probably won't get to it in this readathon, but I hope to read it very soon. And let me know if you've read it or any of these books in the comments below. And the last book that I am hoping to read for the Dystopian Readathon, I don't have it in physical form to show you because I actually just bought it on Kindle. I will put a picture here. So this is the last book I hope to read. It's called The Revolution of Ivy. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it. It's the sequel, the second book in a series that came out years ago. It's not as old as like Twilight and all those, but it's not exactly new. So the first book I'll also put on the screen here. It's called The Book of Ivy. This is another dystopian. I read The Book of Ivy, which is book 1 years ago. It's by Amy Engel. She's the author. It was like her first book. I absolutely loved it. I was obsessed with it. I had the physical copy, but I ended up getting rid of it when I was done. But I absolutely loved The Book of Ivy. It was so good. It kind of gave me like The Selection by Kira Cass vibes. So from what I can remember, it's again a dystopian world where the main character, it's like this world kind of like The Selection. I think there's like caste systems and stuff like that. And it's really weird. It's like normally it's kind of like a selection thing where girls get pulled in to like get chosen to marry this guy. But the main character has like a different task. So her task is to actually kill the guy. So she, I think, gets hired to kill the guy who everyone else kind of like wants to marry. I forgot why, but she's hired to kill him. And of course it backfires because she ends up falling in love with this guy. So she's having a hard time killing him and doing what she's supposed to do. And then I remember at the end of the book, actually I don't want to give anything else away in case you haven't read it, but I highly recommend reading book 1, which is The Book of Ivy. It was so good. If you like this just dystopian romance, like The Selection, all the things, definitely check out The Book of Ivy. And I don't even know if it's that like known in the booktube community. Like I said, it is older, so maybe people were talking about it years ago when I wasn't really on booktube. I'm not sure. Let me know if you've read it or heard of The Book of Ivy, but it was one of my all-time favorite dystopian books, and I just never got around to reading book 2, which was the sequel. So I finally purchased The Revolution of Ivy recently because I was trying to pick my TBR for the readathon, and I went through my Goodreads list and I forgot that I didn't read the second book. So The Revolution of Ivy, book number 2, the second and last book in the series, is one that I really hope to get to. And again, I have it on my Kindle Paperwhite, so I don't have it to show you. But yeah, I really hope to get to that one. I would love to read it because, like I said, I loved book 1. So that is it for my Dystopian Readathon TBR. So here are the books I mentioned to you, as well as The Revolution of Ivy by Amy Engel. So those are my TBR picks for this readathon. Like I said, I am not going to read all of these books. That is not realistic. I'm not even going to try, but because a lot of them are series, I figured I would just kind of show you the rest of the books just so you get an idea. But I'm going to try to read as many of these as I possibly can. We'll see what happens. We'll see which ones I get to. Let me know if you're participating in the Dystopian Readathon by Nahomy's Library. Let me know in a comment below, what is your TBR? What books are you going to be reading? And also let me know if you've read any of these books that I mentioned that I am going to read. But that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you're not already, because I am going to be filming a reading vlog for this readathon where I take you along with me through the whole week of the readathon and share the books I'm reading and give you updates so you can see which books I actually get done during the readathon. So make sure to subscribe if you're not already. We would appreciate you being here, and stay tuned for the reading vlog video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below your TBR picks for the readathon and anything else. We really appreciate your support on this channel. Thank you again. Thank you to Nahomy for hosting this fun readathon with a few other booktubers. I'm really excited to be a part of it and to participate. I'm excited to see what everybody else, including you all, are going to be reading. And we also do reading sprints every week on this channel. Check out our live and our community tabs on our channel for the schedule. We would love to have you join us for reading sprints to read together. So thank you again for watching. Love and appreciate you all so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon in our next video. Bye, everybody.
Lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind sweat.